Oh, sing a song that old was sung, from ashes ancient Gower is come, assuming man's infirmities, to glad your ears and please your eyes. It has been sung at festivals, on ember eves and holy hails, and lords and ladies in their lives have read it for restoratives. The purchase is to make men glorious. Et bonum qui antiqui hos, heo meleos. The older a good thing is, the better. If you, born in these latter times when wit's more ripe, accept my rhymes, and to hear an old man sing may to your wishes pleasures bring, I life would wish, and to waste it for you, like taper light. This Antioch then, Antiochus the Great built up this city for his chiefest seat, the fairest in all Syria. I tell you what my authors say. This king unto him took a fair, who died, and left a female heir, so blithe and bonny and full of face, as heaven had lent her all his grace, with whom his father liking took, and her to incest did provoke. Bad child, worse father, to provoke his own to evil should be done by none. But this custom, what they did begin, was with long use account no sin. The beauty of this sinful dame made many princes thither frame to seek her for a bedfellow, in marriage pleasures playfellow, which to prevent he made a law to keep her still, and men in awe, that whoso asked her for a wife, his riddle told not, lost his life. So for her many a wight did die, as yon grim looks do testify. What now ensues, to the judgment of your eye I give, my cause who best can justify. Here you have seen a mighty king his child I wis to incest bring, a better prince and benign lord that shall prove awful both in deed and word. Be quiet then, as men should be, till he hath passed necessity. I'll show you those in trouble's reign, losing a mite, a mountain gain. The good in conversation, to whom I give my benison, is still at Tarsus, where each man thinks all is writ he specken can, and to remember what he does, build his statue to make him glorious. But tidings to the contrary are brought your eye. What need speak I? Good Helicanus, that stayed at home not to eat honey like a drone from others' labours, for though he strives to kill and bad, keep good alive, and to fulfil his prince's desire, sends word of all that haps entire, how Thaliard had come full bent with sin, and had intent to murder him, and that in Tarsus 'twas not best longer for him to make his rest, He, doing so, put forth to sea, where, when men be'n, there's seldom ease. For now the wind begins to blow, thunder above and deeps below make such unquiet, that the ship should house him safe is wrecked and split, and he, good prince, having all lost, by the waves from coast to coast is tossed. All perishen of men and pelf, nay, aught escapen but himself, till fortune, tired with doing bad, threw him ashore to give him glad. And here he comes. What shall be next? Pardon, old Gower, this longs the text. Now sleep is slaked half a row, no din but snores the house about, made louder by the o'erfed breast of this most pompous wedding feast. The cat with eyne of burning coal now crouches afore the mouse's hole, and crickets sing at the oven's mouth, ere the blither for their drouth. Hymen hath brought the bride to bed, whereby the loss of maidenhead a babe is molded. Be attent, and time that is so briefly spent with your fine fancies quaintly etch. What's dumb in show, I'll plain with speech. By many a dern and painful perch of Pericles, the careful search, by the 4 opposing coins which the world together joins, is made with all due diligence that horse and sail and high expense can stead the quest. At last from Tyre, fame answering the most strange inquire, to the court of King Simonides our letters brought, the tenor these: Antiochus and his daughter dead, the men of Tyrus on the head of Helicanus would set on the crown of Tyre. But he will none. The mutiny he there hastes to oppress, says to him, if King Pericles come not home in twice 6 moons, he, obedient to their dooms, will take the crown. The sum of this brought hence to Pentapolis, he ravished all the regions around, and every one with claps can sound, our heir apparent is a king. Who dreamt, who thought of such a thing? Brief, he must hence depart to Tyre. His queen with child makes her desire, which who shall cross, along to go. Omit we all their dole and woe. Like Corridor, her nurse she takes, and so to sea. Their vessel shakes on Neptune's billow, half the flood hath their keel cut. But fortune's mood varies again. The grizzled north disgorges such a tempest forth, that, as a duck for life that dives, so up and down the poor ship drives. The lady shrieks, and well and near does fall in travail with her fear, and what ensues in this fell storm shall for itself perform. I nil relate. Action may conveniently the rest convey, which might not what by me is told. In your imagination hold this stage, the ship, upon whose deck the sea-tossed Pericles appears to speak. Imagine Pericles, arrived at Tyre, welcomed and settled to his own desire. His woeful queen we leave at Ephesus, and to Diana there a votaress. Now to Marina bend your mind, whom our fast-growing scene must find at Tarsus, and by Cleon trained in music, letters, who have gained of education all the grace that make her both the heart and place of general wonder. But alack, that monster envy, oft the rack of earned praise, Marina's life seeks to take off by treason's knife. And in this kind, our Cleon hath one daughter, and a wench full grown, even ripe for marriage rite. This maid is Philoten, and it is said for certain in our story she would ever with Marina be, albeit when she weaved the sladed silk with fingers long, soft, white as milk, or when she would with needle sharp wound the cambric, which she made more sound by hurting it, or when to the lute she sung and made the night bird mute, which still records with moan, or when she would with rich and constant pen veil to her mistress Diane. Still this Philoten contends in skill with absolute Marina. So with the dove of Paphos might the crow vie feathers white. Marina gets all praises that are paid as debts and not as given. This so darks in Philoten all graceful marks, that Cleon's wife, in envy rare, a present murderer doth prepare for good Marina, that her daughter might stand peerless by this slaughter. The sooner her vile thoughts to stead, Lycorida, our nurse, is dead, and cursed Dionysa hath the pregnant instrument of wrath pressed for this blow. The unborn event I do commend to your content, only I carry winged time post on the lame feet of my rhyme, which never could I so convey, unless your thoughts went on my way. Dionysa does appear, with Leonine, a murderer. Thus time we waste, and longest leagues make short, sail seas in cockles, heaven wish but for it, making to take your imagination from bourne to bourne, region to region. By you being pardoned, we commit no crime to use one language in each every clime where our scene seems to live. I do beseech you to learn of me, who stand in the gaps to teach you the stages of our story. Pericles is now again thwarting the wayward seas, attended on by many a lord and knight, to see his daughter, all his life's delight. Old Aeschines, whom Helicanus, late in time advanced to great and high estate, is left to govern. Bear you it in mind, old Helicanus goes along behind. Well-sailing ships and bounteous winds have brought this king to Tarsus. Think you his pilot thoughts, So with his steerage shall your thoughts go on to fetch his daughter home, who first is gone. Like motes and shadows, see them move a while. Your eyes unto your ears I'll reconcile. See how belief may suffer by foul show. This borrowed passion stands for true old woe, and Pericles, in sorrow all devoured, with sighs shot through, and biggest tears o'ershowered, leaves Tarsus, and again embarks. He swears never to wash his face, or cut his hairs. He puts on sackcloth and to sea. He bears a tempest, which his mortal vessel tears, and yet he rides it out. Now please you wit, the epitaph is for Marina writ by Dionysa. The fairest, the sweetest, and the best lies here, who withered in her spring of year. She was of Tyrus, the king's daughter, on whom foul death hath made this slaughter. Marina was she called, and at her birth, Thetis, being proud, swallowed some part of the earth. Therefore the earth, fearing to be o'erflowed, hath Thetis' birth child on the heavens bestowed. Wherefore she does, and swears she'll never stint, make raging battery upon shores of a flint. No visor becomes black villainy better than soft and tender flattery. Let Pericles believe his daughter's dead, and bear his courses to be ordered by Lady Fortune. Our scene must play his daughter's woe, and heavy well-a-day in her unholy service. Patience then, and think you now are all in Mytilene. Marina thus the brothel scapes, and chances into an honest house, our story says. She sings like one immortal, and she dances as goddess-like to her admired lays. Deep clerks she dumbs, and with her needle composes nature's own shape of bud, bird, branch, or berry, that even her art sisters the natural roses. Her inkle, silk, twin with the rubied cherry. That pupils lacks she none of noble race, who pour their bounty on her, and her gain she gives the cursed board. Here we her place, and to her father turn our thoughts once more, where we left him on the sea. We there him lost, whence, driven before the winds, he is arrived here, where his daughter dwells, and on this coast suppose him now at anchor. The city strived God Neptune's annual feast to keep, from whence Lysimachus, our Tyrian ship espies, his banners sable, trimmed with rich expense, and to him in his barge with fervour hies. In your supposing, once more put your sight of heavy Pericles. Think this his bark, where what is done in action, more if might, shall be discovered. Please you, sit and hark. Now our sands are almost run. More a little, and then done. This my last boon give me, for such kindness must relieve me, that you aptly will suppose what pageantry, what feats, what shows, what minstrelsy and pretty din the regent made in Mytilene to greet the king. So he thrived that he is promised to be wived to fair Marina, but in no wise till he had done his sacrifice, as Dian bade, whereto, being bound, the interim, pray you, all confound. In feathered briefness, sails are filled, and wishes fall out as they're willed. At Ephesus, the temple, see our king and all his company. That he can hither come so soon is by your fancy's thankful doom. In Antiochus and his daughter you have heard of monstrous lust, the due and just reward. In Pericles, his queen and daughter, seen, although assailed with fortune fierce and keen, virtue, preserved from fell destruction's blast, led on by heaven, and crowned with joy at last. In Helicanus may you well descry a figure of truth, of faith, of loyalty. In Reverend Ceremon, there well appears the worth that learned charity aye wears. For wicked Cleon and his wife, when fame had spread their cursed deed and honoured name of Pericles, to rage the city turned, that him and his they in his palace burned. The gods for murder seemed so content to punish them, although not done, but meant. So on your patience evermore attending, new joy wait on you. Here our play has ending.